Hi students, I am K. Sendil Kumaran, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Erode Sengundar Engineering College, Autonomous, Perundurai, Erode. Today we are going to discuss about the Engineering Chemistry, Unit-4, Polymer Chemistry, Part-1. So these are all the various topics we have to going to discuss about the today's class. First one is the introduction about the polymer. Then what is the meaning of monomer, polymers, then definition for the polymerization, different types of the polymerization, then functionality, degree of polymerization, classification of polymers based on source and applications. Okay, the word polymer is derived from the Greek words poly. Poly means many. Then mer means unit or a part. So the polymer means many number of units joined together to form the macromolecule. So the polymers are generally macromolecules formed by the repeated linking. That means monomers. Large number of small molecules like monomers or polymers are widely used in automobiles, defense, electrical goods and computer components. Day to day life we have to see in the polythene, paper, then backlight, plastic like structures, thermoplastic, thermosetting plastics. So these are all the various examples for the day to day life polymers. So the polymer word derived from the Greek word. So many number of monomers joined together, or many number of small units joined together, or many number of small unit or small molecules joined together to form the macromolecule. That means big molecule. That is the polymer. This process is called as the polymerization process. So we will see the correct definition for the coming slides. Okay, now we are going to the definition for the polymers. Polymers are macromolecules. That means higher molecular weight. It can be formed by the repeating linking of large number of small molecules or small units like a monomers. So many number of monomeric units joined together to form the macromolecule is called as the polymers. The example for the polymer is polyethylene. So here which is the monomeric unit? Ethylene molecule. Ethylene is the monomeric unit. So here you have to see the reaction. N number of ethylene molecules joined together to form the polyethylene molecule, that is polymer. Polyethylene is a polymer formed by the repeated linking of large number of ethylene molecules. This reaction is called as the polymerization reaction. Okay. Next we are going to the definition for monomer. Monomer is a micromolecule. Micro means small, which combines with each other to form a macromolecule, that is polymeric molecule. So monomer is the single unit present in the polymeric chain molecule. Example for the monomer is ethylene, vinyl chloride, These are also some of the examples for monomer. Okay, some of the various examples of monomer and polymer we will see in the next slide. Okay, so here given the ethylene is the monomer to form the polyethylene. Shortly we are called as the PE. So double bond break up into the single bond to form the polyethylene. So n number of ethylene molecules to form a polyethylene molecule. Next, propylene. Propylene means ethylene carbon atom, one of the carbon containing the methyl group. So n number of propylene molecules join together to form the polypropylene. It means PP. Then vinyl chloride. The same ethylene molecule connected with the chlorine atom is called vinyl chloride. N number of vinyl chloride join together to form a polyvinyl chloride. Next, styrene. So in the ethylene molecule having the phenyl nucleus, phenyl ring. So n number of styrene to form the polystyrene, that is PS. Then acrylonitrile. In the ethylene molecule containing the cyanide group, that is called acrylonitrile. N number of acrylonitrile polymerized to form the polyacrylonitrile. Shortly we are called it is the PAN, PAN. Then vinyl acetate. So n number of vinyl acetate combined together to form the polyvinyl acetate, PVAC. Next, acrylic acid. So carboxylic group connected with the ethylene structure, it is called acrylic acid. N number of acrylic acid connected together to form the polyacrylic acid. Next, methyl acrylate. So n number of methyl acrylate connected together to form polymethyl acrylate. That is called PMA, polymethyl acrylate. Then methyl methacrylate. So n number of methyl methacrylate combined to form polymethyl methacrylate, PMMA, polymethyl methacrylate. So here the ethylene molecule connected with one side methyl group, another side acetate group, CH3COO linkage, that is acrylate. Okay. Next, tetrafluoroethylene. Tetra means 4. So the 4 fluorine atom connected with the ethylene molecule, it is called as the tetrafluoroethylene. So the tetrafluoroethylene polymerized to form the polytetrafluoroethylene, that is PTEF. PTFE, polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE, or Teflon or Fluon. Next, butadiene. But means 4, di means 2, ene means double bond. So the 4 carbon atom here present. Alternatively, the carbon atom connected with the double bond, so that it is called butadiene. So n number of butadiene polymerized to form the polybutadiene. So here the double bonds are converted into single bonds are converted into double bond. So the polymerization reaction are called as the additional polymerization. Additional polymerization means there is no removal of the small units like water, HCl, etc. Then important polymer is polyisoprene. So the monomer unit is isoprene. Isoprene and n number of isoprene connected together to form a polyisoprene. Next, chloroprene. So in the butadiene structure connected with the one second carbon atom with the chlorine atom, that is called chloroprene. N number of chloroprene connected together to form polychloroprene. Next, ethylene terephthalate. So it is one of the monomer, complicated monomer, ethylene terephthalate. So n number of ethylene terephthalate with the help of condensation polymerization reaction to form polyethylene terephthalate, that is PET. Next polymer is epoxy resin. So in the epoxy resin polymer formed with the help of two monomers, one is epichlorohydrin, another one is bisphenol A. So the epichlorohydrin and bisphenol A condensed to form condensation polymerization. So in the bisphenol A, OH molecule react with the Cl atom to form a HCl and connected two monomers to form epoxy resin. Another important polymer is nylon 6,6. Here the 6,6 represents the 6 carbon atom in one monomer, another 6 carbon atom in the another monomer. So here two monomers we have to use. One is the hexamethylene diamine, another one is the adipic acid. So here you have to see the hexamethylene diamine, how many carbon atoms? Yes, 6 carbon atoms, 6 methylene groups connected with the two amine groups. Another monomer here it is called as the adipic acid. In adipic acid, 2 carboxylic group and 4 methylene group. So totally 4 plus 2, 6 carbon atoms. So that here we have to represents the 6, 6. Why it is called as the nylon? So in nylon, NY first two letter represents the New York scientist. So that it is called as the NY. And another scientist is London. So New York scientist and London scientist, both of them synthesized this polymer, so that we are called nylon 6,6. So it is also one of the condensation polymerization. So hexamethylene diamine react with adipic acid to form nylon 6,6 and elimination of small molecule like water. So the hydrogen from amine group and OH from carboxylic group condensed to form nylon 6,6 and water. Okay. Then another polymer is nylon 6. So here 6 carbon atoms. The monomer required to the formation of nylon 6 is caprolactam. So caprolactam polymerized to form the nylon 6 with the additional polymerization process. Next, nylon 11. Nylon 11 means totally 11 carbon atoms. So the monomer required to production of the nylon 11 is n number of amino unideconic acid. Deca means 10. Unideconic acid means 11 carbon atoms. Polymerized to form nylon 11. Okay. Next we are going to the polymerization reaction. Polymerization is a process. So whether it is the condensation process or a additional polymerization process. So here the large number of small units like monomers combine together to form the big molecule, that is large molecule called as the polymer, with or without elimination of small molecules like hydrochloric acid, water, etc. Once again I repeat the polymerization reaction or polymerization definition. So it is the process of formation of polymer with the combination of large number of monomeric units with or without elimination of small molecules like water, HCl. That is the polymerization reaction. So in the polymerization reaction we have to classify it into various types. One is additional polymerization. Second one is condensation polymerization. Then third one is copolymerization. Additional polymerization means without elimination of small molecules for the formation of polymer with the help of more number of monomeric units. That is additional polymerization. Just add between the two or more number of monomeric units. So in the condensation polymerization means two or more monomers joined together with definitely some elimination will be occur, whether the water or HCl or any type of the small molecules will eliminate from the condensation process. In the type of polymerization is called condensation polymerization. Copolymerization means addition of two different monomers without elimination of small molecules to form new polymeric product. That is copolymerization. Co means two. Okay. So this will be explained in detail in the next class. Okay. Then we are going to the degree of polymerization. Shortly we are called as the DP. The number of repeating unit in a polymer chain is known as degree of polymerization. That means how many number of monomers join together to form the polymerization process. So the number of monomeric unit also we are called as the degree of polymerization. Suppose 5 number of ethylene molecules combine together to form the polythene structure or polythene molecule. Here what is the degree of polymerization? 5 is the degree of polymerization. So it can be determined by using the following formula. So the degree of polymerization N equal to molecular weight of the polymeric network divided by molecular weight of the repeating unit or molecular weight of the monomeric unit. So using this formula we have to easily determine the degree of polymerization. So here we given the one example, 5 number of ethylene polymerized to give the one product, that is the polyethylene product. So here what is the degree of polymerization? 5 is the degree of polymerization. 5 repeating units are present in the polymer chain. So the degree of polymerization is 5. Okay. So based on the degree of polymerization, it can be classified into two types. One is the oligomers, another is high polymers. Oligomers means low degree of polymerization. Polymers are called oligomers. The molecular weight ranges from 500 to 5000 units. So in the polymers having low degree of polymerization, that is called oligomers. Same thing like the polymers with high degree of polymerization are known as high polymers. The range of molecular weight is 10,000 units to 2 lakh unit. Okay, you know the difference between oligomers and high polymers. Oligomers means degree of polymerization is low. High polymers means the degree of polymerization is high. Range oligomers are 500 to 5000 units. In high polymers 10,000 to 2 lakh units. Then functionality and its significance. Functionality means how many number of bonding sites or reactive sites or functional group present in the monomeric unit. That is the functionality. Once again I repeat, how many number of bonding sites available in the monomeric unit or reactive sites. Reactive site means that containing the double bond or functional group like OH, Cl, Cn, carboxylic group, halogens. So these are all the functional group or bonding sites. So number of bonding sites or number of functional group availability in the monomeric unit is called as the functionality. So we will explain the one example. For example, ethylene molecule. You have to consider the ethylene molecule. What is the formula for ethylene molecule? CH2 double bond CH2. So here double bond is the reactive site. So this double bond is common for two carbon atom. So what is the reactive site in this ethylene molecule? 2, because 2 carbon atom containing one double bond. So the double bond is common for 2 carbon atoms, so that reactive site is the 2, so that functionality is 2. So the two bonding sites are due to the presence of one double bond in the monomer. Therefore, the ethylene is a bifunctional monomer. Bi means two, functional means functionality. Monomer means the single unit present in the polymeric chain is called a monomer. Next example, hexamethylene diamine. So it is the monomeric unit to preparation the nylon 6,6. So what is the functionality of this? 2, because of the methylene molecule containing the 2 amine groups, so that we are called functionality here 2. This monomer contains 2 functional groups, hence it is a bifunctional monomer. So it is also the bifunctional monomer. Next, glycerol. Glycerol means 3 OH groups connected with the 3 different carbon atoms. So here the functional group is 3, so that functionality is 3. This monomer contains 3 functional groups, hence it is the trifunctional monomer. Trifunctional monomer. Okay. Next, significance. In bifunctional monomer mainly form the linear or straight chain polymer. So the monomeric unit is the linear and it linked between the strong covalent bonds. So the adjacent linear chain connected with the weak van der Waals forces of attraction. So the adjacent chain having the weak van der Waals force. Weak van der Waals force means this force between the two adjacent layer is very weak. So this weak force discovered van der Waals scientists, so that we are called van der Waals forces of attraction. You can see this picture diagram. So the into mark represents the carbon atoms, that means bifunctional monomeric unit. So the two adjacent bifunctional monomeric units connected with a strong covalent bond, that is primary covalent bond. So here two linear lines, bottom layer and top layer. So the two adjacent layers connected with the weak van der Waals forces of attraction. So this weak van der Waals force of attraction leads to the polymer have soft nature and flexibility, and the possesses less strength, low heat resistance. So these are the soluble in organic solvents. Organic solvent means benzene, phenol, carboxylic acid, ether, aldehyde. These are all the some of the examples of organic solvents. Next, mixed functional monomers. When a trifunctional monomer connected with the small amounts of bifunctional monomer to form Mixed functional monomers. Here it is not a linear chain, it is the cross-linked or a branched chain structure. The mixed functional monomer means trifunctional monomer and bifunctional monomer connected together to form the mixed functional monomers. The movement of polymeric chain in branched polymer is more restricted than that of the straight chain polymers. And also comparing to the bifunctional monomers, it is the low solubility nature because of the branched chain which restricted to the solubility nature. Okay. Next we are going to the polyfunctional monomers. Polyfunctional monomer means cross-linked polymer. That means three-dimensional network polymeric chain will formed. So all the monomers in the polymer are connected to each other by strong covalent bond. So in the linear form and branched form, all the form only connected with the covalent bond. Therefore, the movement of the polymer chain is totally restricted. So this type of polymers are very hard and brittle in nature and possesses very high strength and heat resistance. They are insoluble in almost all organic solvents. So what is the structure of the polyfunctional monomer? So we will see the next slide. So it is the complicated structure of polyfunctional monomers. So in all the monomers connected with a strong covalent bond. Trifunctional monomer means in the monomeric unit containing the three functional group like the glycerol like structure. Okay. So totally three types of functional monomer. One is the bifunctional monomer. Next one is mixed functional monomers. Then last one is polyfunctional monomers. So these are all the significances of the functionality. Bifunctional, trifunctional and polyfunctional monomers. Next. Classification of polymers based on the nature and source and applications. So the main classification of polymers are, one is the natural polymers, another one is synthetic polymers. If the polymers occur in nature, that is called a natural polymer. Suppose we can synthesize the polymers in artificially or by man-made process, it is called synthetic polymers. So what are all the various types of natural polymers and synthetic polymers available? We will see one by one. So it is the broad classification of polymers. Broadly classified into polymers into two types. One is the natural and another one is synthetic. Further, the natural polymers can be classified into inorganic type and organic type. Examples for the inorganic natural polymer is clay, that is silicates. Then another organic natural polymer examples proteins, polypeptides, RNA, DNA, cellulose. RNA means ribonucleic acid, DNA means deoxyribonucleic acids. Then inorganic synthetic polymers. Examples silicons. And last one is organic synthetic polymers, polyethylene, polypropylene, polyethylene terephthalate, nylon 66, nylon 6, nylon 11, polyurethane, polyester, polyvinyl chloride, polyacrylate, etc. So already we seen lot of organic synthetic polymeric structure. Okay. Okay. The natural polymer. The polymers obtained from nature, that means it occur from plants and animals, they are called natural polymers. The example of natural polymers, first example is starch. It is the polymer of glucose. It is chief food reserve of plants. So starch, how can the starch will prepare the plants? So plants prepare the starch with the help of photosynthesis reaction. Photosynthesis reaction means, so we release the carbon dioxide. So with the help of carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and the chlorophyll, with the help of four things, the plants will produce the starch, that is food, and release the oxygen. Once again I repeat the photosynthesis reaction. With the help of carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight, the plant produces the food. Another name of food we are called as the starch, and releases the oxygen. So we have to consume the oxygen and release the carbon dioxide. Plant just opposite of it. Plants consume the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen. So it is the carbon chain. So with the help of this, the carbon dioxide is neutralized in the environment. So the plant which reduces the carbon dioxide content in the environment with this process. So in this process, plants produces the starch. So starch is the very good example for natural polymer. Another one is cellulose. So it is also the polymer of glucose. It is a chief structural material of the plant cellulose. So cellulose also produced by the plants during photosynthesis process. So first one is the starch, second one is the cellulose. So SC. S means starch, C means cellulose. Then another important natural polymer is protein, SCP. Starch, cellulose, proteins. So these are the polymers of alpha amino acids. Alpha amino acid means amine and carboxylic acid connected together to form the amino acids. They have generally 20 to 100 alpha amino acids joined together to form highly organized arrangement. These are building block of animals, proteins. So proteins are the compounds to form the polypeptide linkage. Peptide bonds. Peptide bond means carboxylic acid react with amines to form CONH bond. That is the peptide bond. So SCP, starch, cellulose and proteins are the natural polymer. Next important natural polymer is nucleic acids. Nucleic acid. So the two important nucleic acids are there. One is the RNA and another one is DNA. RNA means ribonucleic acid. It is available in the plants. And deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA structure is in the common for animals. So that is the ribbon-like structure that containing many number of bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. These are all linked with the phosphate molecules with the help of ribbon-like structure that is called as the DNA. So how many natural polymers we were discussed? SCPN: starch, cellulose, proteins and nucleic acid. Then last one is natural rubber. So it is the polymer of unsaturated hydrocarbons, that is 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene. Generally we are called as the isoprene. So more number of isoprene units joined together to form the polyisoprene. So it is obtained from latex of rubber trees. So mostly it occurs in the Kerala. So you know the rubber tree. So in the rubber tree produces this polymer, so that it is called natural rubber. So five natural polymers we were discussed. SCP. SCP means S means starch, C means cellulose, P means proteins, N nucleic acid. Another N is natural rubber. Next. So it is the familiar reaction of production of the polyisoprene. Then go to the synthetic polymers. The polymers which are prepared in the laboratories are called synthetic polymers. These are also called man-made polymers or artificial polymers. So what are the various important examples for synthetic polymers? PVC. PVC means polyvinyl chloride, polyethylene, nylon, Teflon, bakelite, terylene. So types of synthetic polymers. One is organic polymers. So these are the polymers containing hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and halogen atoms apart from carbon atoms. Polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polyvinyl alcohol, epoxy polymers, polyurethanes, polyethylene terephthalate, nylon 66, nylon 6, nylon 11. So these are all the various types of organic polymers. So these are prepared by the synthetic or man-made activities. Next, heterochain polymers. Hetero means heteroatom. So if the polymer composed of carbon atoms and heteroatoms like nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, the main chain consists of carbon atoms and whose side groups containing heteroatoms like nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen directly to the carbon atoms are called heterochain polymers. Examples polyesters and polyamides. Esters containing COO group and amide containing the NH2 group or CONH2 group. Then last one, inorganic polymers. These are the polymers containing no carbon atoms. The chain of these polymers are composed of different atoms joined by chemical bonds other than the carbon. The examples for inorganic polymers is polysilaxants. Polysilaxants. So the silicon atom connected with different functional group like oxygen and phospho polyphosphoric acid. Polyphosphoric acid means the phosphorus atom connected with the heteroatom like oxygen and OH functional group. These are called as the polyphosphoric acid. These are all the best examples for inorganic polymers. Here there is no availability of the carbon atoms. So without the carbon atoms, the inorganic elements like silicon and phosphorus polymerized to form the macromolecule. It is called inorganic polymers. One is polysilaxants and polyphosphoric acids. Okay, these are all the various types of the natural polymers and synthetic polymers. Okay, okay, thank you.